Let's take a look at that parts bag we saw earlier. What is it? In the instruction manual, they break down where each one of these things is designed to go. It is a plug and play harness. This says car mounted rear amplifier port. This says DSP port. This says subwoofer on it. Car mount front amplifier port. So we have all of these positions, and the instructions, as you can see here, do a good job of showing you where they want these to get connected to. It is 100% covered. Like, it's fuzzy, it feels like a stuffed animal. Over here, this is our battery connection as well as our data connection. This is going to connect to this piece here. But before we get to that, here is our power and ground run. It has a fuse inside of 40 amps. Don't know how it's doing it, but whatever. We'll just all play along. And then this that we just showed, this is the CP1S. This is the CAN Pro from PAC. This comes with the unit. This is what is going to talk to the car and give us our turn on. And this is designed to go into the center console, and it will hook up to this one wire right here with this butt connector on it. I don't know why they used the blue butt connector as opposed to maybe a red butt connector would have been okay, or a male and female. Anyways, either way, this is designed to go into the center console. This plugs into here. There are dip switches on this that do need to get set up. According to the instructions, we need to set dip switch 2 on. Come in here. Dip switches are right here on the back. Dip switch 2 is now on. I'm gonna put it back into here. I just wanted to do it while I was thinking about it. Now that we know the harnesses as far as what they are and what we have, I think it's time we take a look at the amplifier itself. This is the PXE X12112 EV 12-channel premium sound audio processor amplifier, product of DSP Sound. Oddly enough, this is high res, and the speakers aren't. 12 channels of power, 6x100, 4x50, 2x200, and 1x400 watts. Now, because we know we have a harness, we're not even really concerned with that much because they're deciding what is going where. Flipping over to the back side of the box, we have the power rating, and it tells you that it's at 4 ohms at 14 volts. It has 2 RCA audio signal outputs. Didn't know about that. Signal output 31 band parametric/graphic EQ, time correction on all 12 channels. Summing of various signal frequencies, high to low. Means it has an input mixer. Superposition mix of selectable main and auxiliary input sources. Independent and flexible correlation of front and rear sound sources. Intelligent sound effects. Simulation, panoramic sound, MVES sound, smart mid-range. Ooh, that's different. Tuning via Apple app/PC software. Multi-channel DSP system link supporting 2 these DSP link expansion. Oh, so according to this, we can connect 2 of these together? That would be neat. Clock synchronization, signal synchronization processing of 12-channel DSP link system. From what we're reading here, apparently we can connect 2 of these together to make a 24-channel system. This could be one of the coolest amps ever. I don't know. Let's open it up and take a look. It is heavy. There's no question about it. Velour top foam piece, which is kind of nice. Ooh, and bottom. Velour on top and bottom. We have the USB cable for connecting to the laptop, and it looks like it uses the printer style input, which is fabulous. We have some connection cables for if you're going to be using this as standalone. That's weird. You'd think they just pull this out of the box because inputs, power connection. I know what this is. Alpine's pigtail Bluetooth dongle. They love doing this. I hate doing this. There's really just never a good place to put it. But it has it, so if you want to use the Bluetooth app, fantastic. And then, looks like we have some mounting feet. And then we have this guy here. Let's pull it out of the box. Oh, it is heavy. It's got some weight to it for sure. I mean, it is actually surprising how heavy this thing is. Which is funny because when you lift up the box that all this stuff comes in, it seems pretty light for how big the box is. Which is telling me that because the speakers are so light, this was all the weight in the box. Channels 11 and 12 as pre-out. We have channel inputs of 1 and 2. So this only has 2 channels of input. Which kind of makes sense in the fact that we have an optical input and a coax input. All 3 of these inputs are only 2 channels of input. Ambient ambient light controller. Don't know what that is. I'm sure that's a future use. External Bluetooth. The link, I'm guessing this is for when you want to run a 24 channel DSP. There's a controller that this does not have, which I'm guessing is an option. And of course, USB audio. Could be a couple different things. The serial number is located here, which is kind of cool. All right, flipping it over to the other side. Power and protect, accessory or host. So I'm guessing that is whether you're using an actual remote or DC offset. 12 volts in are these four, 12 volt ground are these four, and then we have accessory, which is usually remote on talk for these style amplifiers, and remote out to turn on a secondary amplifier. Then there are 12 channels of powered outputs. We have the RCAs on the other side for 11 and 12. They're in tandem with these outputs. This can put out channels 11 and 12 power as well as the RCA. Keep that in mind. The idea would be if you're like, I want to add bigger subs and you're not going to use the output of this, then you'd use the RCAs. And then it has 12 channels of high level input. So on the other side, we had 2 channels of RCA input, line level. This has 12 channels of high level input. So there are still 12 channels of input coming into the amplifier. It has this very uncharacteristic look of Alpine. Honestly, this looks more like a Cybertruck than anything. Brushed, weird things here, and then this is just a big Alpine, and there's a sticker over protecting it, so it's the last thing we do. And as you can see, there are no mounting brackets attached to it. That's what this bag is. And so there's 4 screw points here, so depending on how you want to mount this, you may or may not need these. We'll have to keep that in mind. Might be easier just to physically mount this to a piece of ABS and do all our wiring so that it looks snazzy, dope, fresh. We're not going to be using the harnesses that come in the box because, according to this, these are the plugs that go into this amplifier. This goes like that. This goes like this. This one is our power and ground. This is designed to sit like this in the car. The one thing about this kit that everyone has said to me is that it doesn't come with any mounting brackets for the specific cars, which is very unlike Alpine systems. Most of the time Alpine systems have brackets, so it's like you buy this for a Y, it's like here's where it goes, here's the bracket. They're not doing that with this, which I find strange, as well as everyone else that has mentioned it to me, so I agree with you on that. So we'll have to figure out some way to mount this in place. I don't know how yet. Regardless of that, now that we have an understanding of what this is, it's time to get this into the car, and that is get this harness ran so we can figure out where this can actually sit in the back of that car. I will just put this back in the box for safekeeping. To get this harness in the car, we have to start at the passenger kick panel. There's a couple things we have to do there, and this will plug in. Let's hop over to the car, get it apart, and get this harness in and figure out how this all works. First step is to get the kick panel / floor sill out of the car. It is simple enough to do in the sense that start here with your hand underneath it and pull up. When we pulled the A-pillars out, we took off this piece right here, had the one clip here, and then it just kind of lifted up. I guess we shouldn't have put that back in yet because we needed to remove that. Now we know. Anyways, right here where this hole is another clip, the kind where you have to pull the head out. We had these in the rear of the car, now we have it in the floor sill of the car, and that is really the only thing holding it on. I don't know why they use those, but they do, because what we need to get to is this area right here. The other thing that needs to come out is there's a piece up underneath here that has some couple clips in them, and those need to come out, and really these only need to come out so that it makes it easier to get this out. It's not really doing anything else. With that cover underneath the dash off and out of the way, that exposes this big silver thing right here. There's a USB connection right here, which is strange, but there's 2 plugs located here and one right above it. The bottom one is white, the top one is black. Those corresponds to this part of the T-harness here, which is all the way at the end of the T-harness, and it says car mounted front amplifier. This is designed to go into these 2 plugs that once these get removed, these will go back into our harness, thus creating the T-harness. These are a little bit difficult to get out because I don't think they've ever been unplugged, so they're nice and tight. Once you get this one out, the top one above it is a lot easier, and there's no room here, so just keep keep that in mind. If you have big hands, find the small-handed guy in the shop to get that out. The object then is to come down through here and start running it to the back of the car. When we disconnected the power, we had slid this seat forward. Right now it seemed like a good idea, other than the fact that it was, I was crushing up into this. to get into the dash, to get to the dash out, but that's all right. It actually worked out fine because we're gonna have to get behind this B-pillar and back. This seemed to make the most sense so far. I've been here screwing with these harnesses, trying to get them to plug in. The little one specifically, and comparing it to the black factory one, as it turns out, the black factory one is actually, that's enough to be annoying, thinner than the white one. It's like you have to have it lined up perfect, which is almost impossible to do it where it's at. The solution to the problem, which is very simple, is we filed the plug down a little bit on both sides to make it thinner, just like the factory plug, so that it'll clip right in nice and easy. That's something you're definitely gonna wanna do if you're gonna be doing one of these.